Hello and welcome to Future Consideration, SB Nation's weekly NFL draft show. Yep. That's Dan Rubenstein. He watches college football.
That's Matt Ufford. He's our NFL guy.
I sure am. Let's get into things this week with our weekly Mocking the Draft mock draft.
Yes, let's start at the top. I believe the same #1 overall pick in Jadeveon Clowney to the Texans.
And same #2 as well. So
same #2, Greg Robinson.
And we have no complaints with either of these.
We love both of these teams, non-playoff teams, working the lines. I like that
Smart.
a lot. Or the front, as it were, with Jadeveon Clowney.
Yes.
Jacksonville with Khalil Mack moving up a slot here.
I like this. I think that you can make a solid argument that Khalil Mack is the best defensive player in the draft, not named Jadeveon Clowney.
Yes, absolutely. He can be a bedrock outside linebacker for Jacksonville for years, perhaps more than a decade to come, if he shows the type of skill that he showed at Buffalo. Sammy Watkins to Cleveland.
We've seen this a lot. You and I both think that that's, I don't mean to speak for you, of course,
By
but
all
like
means.
it's a great pick. He's a great player. We find it a little bit of a head scratcher at #4 overall when you already have a brilliant young talent like Josh Gordon.
If Cleveland is just set on getting the best possible players, sure. I don't like it still. I think they need help otherwise before another top receiver. Blake Bortles, #5 in Oakland. Thoughts?
I find it strange. I'm still holding on, even as more and more mock drafts drop Teddy Bridgewater down. I still think he's the best and most pro-ready quarterback in the draft. And the insistence that Bortles is going to be the first quarterback off the board by a lot of draft nicks, I find strange.
Bortles is very good. You're taking a quarterback in the top 5, and you're sending a message. This guy's ready to play week 3, week 4. I'm not sure that's the case with Blake Bortles, but I really like him. And if Oakland does need a quarterback, which they do, I like it. Let's jump around at 10, a name we haven't seen this high, Odell Beckham Jr. The Lions.
This is a head scratcher for me. The Lions, of course, just signed Golden Tate in free agency. He's an excellent #2 wide receiver behind your Megatron. To spend a top 10 pick on Odell Beckham
Another
Jr.
receiver.
I think Beckham's a good player. I don't really love him at 10th overall, and certainly not for the Lions' needs.
Right, especially on defense, where the Lions are looking to improve. You have Green Bay, you have Chicago's offense looking ridiculous. I think that's the move there, especially since they play indoors. The Giants at 12, Aaron Donald.
You and I both love Aaron Donald. He's going to be a game changer, a star in the NFL. The Giants do have bigger needs on the offensive line, and we also, when we talked about the Giants' needs before, when we talked about the NFC East, they need a tight end.
They do need a tight end, but I feel like an interior defensive lineman, and he can play everywhere on that line, really, depending on the package.
Despite the Giants' bigger needs on the offensive line, I don't have a problem with any team taking Aaron Donald.
No, absolutely not. You get a game-changing defensive tackle /
How about
whatever.
At 18, the Jets taking Kyle Fuller.
A really good corner. I don't think he's the best corner in this draft, but very, very good. Played well for a pretty good, if not excellent, Virginia Tech defense. The Jets, it is a position of need. The corner position has been shaky since the loss of course, Revis Island. It's one of the first mocks we've seen that does not have a receiver going to the Jets.
Yes, but you know, I would say I like my first-round draft picks to be building up defense and lines, and I think that
we feel good about the Jets' defensive line, so it's not a terrible pick. The next one, kind of interesting, especially with this mock.
Real head scratcher here. We've got the Browns trading to get Manziel at 19, which it certainly is fine with me if you're under the impression that quarterbacks are falling. 20, the Arizona Cardinals taking Derek Carr, which I would not have a problem with.
Not a huge problem.
Except that Teddy Bridgewater is still on the board.
Yeah, I think you definitely go Bridgewater there. Derek Carr, if you're taking quarterback around 20, you're probably not asking to play right away. They do have a quarterback in Arizona for the time being. But wow, Carr ahead of Bridgewater?
That is comical.
Not sold on that at all.
That should cost someone their job.
Yes. This presupposed hypothetical world. How dare you? The Saints grabbing Marquise Lee, somebody we've seen go to the Jets in a number of mocks. Marquise Lee, a very versatile player. The Saints, of course, treat receivers and pass catching very well.
Great hands. He's a polished route runner.
Yeah, sure.
You know, one of those. I would love to see them, especially where the tackles are going. There's a lot of talent at offensive tackle late in the first round.
Absolutely.
And I think that the Saints still haven't found someone to replace Bushrod since he left in free agency. I'd really rather than see them protect Drew Brees rather than give him another weapon.
I think there's enough value in this draft at receiver. And yeah, the tackle thing, Drew Brees is a top 3 quarterback in the league. That's a fact. arm him with the type of tackles that he demands and should always have.
Yeah, he's got the weapons, protect him.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
That is our review of this week's mock draft. Let us know what you think, of course. I'm sure everyone just agrees.
Yeah,
everyone
always.
just loves every pick.
Yes!
We'll see you again next week.